guys, it's Nikki and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today's video where we are going to chit chat all about my experience at the Disneyland half marathon weekend from 2025, and I'm going to show you all the fun items that I grabbed while visiting Disneyland. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Like I said, my name is Nikki and I like to share lots of magical moments here at home and at the theme parks and Disney Cruise Line too. That will be coming this year as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. I'm really excited to share all of the fun items I got with you during my Disneyland trip, and let's get started. If you're not sure what the Disneyland half marathon weekend is, it is normally at the end of January. They recently just brought it back. So last year, 2024, was the first year it has been brought back since COVID, and it was the weekend right after Dopey. They thankfully changed that this year, and it was at the end of January, like I think 2 or 3 days into February. But it is a yoga, a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. Every weekend has yoga. I feel like the only weekend actually that doesn't have yoga is Wine and Dine and marathon weekend. I can't remember if Wine and Dine has it or not, but I know Princess does, and I know Springtime has yoga, and Disneyland have marathon. So one of my biggest things was I wanted to try yoga this year because I just wanted a yoga mat that said Run Disney on it. That's truly the reason why I did the yoga. But to my surprise, it was so much fun. I'll post some pictures while I'm chatting about yoga with you in here, but it was really relaxing. I am not a yoga person. I am definitely more of like, let's do a nice slow stretch kind of person, not downward dog, sunrise, up and like quick and movements. While there were flows like that, it was very slow. It was very relaxing, calming. Honestly, exactly what I needed in that moment. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a little bit about this, but I'm not sure why my anxiety just really heightens when I go to Disneyland in California. I don't know if it's because I don't really love taking like ride shares by myself or going by myself, but when I go to Orlando, I feel fine. So I was very anxious and I had a lot going on like personally, and so I think just all of that just was all combined, and I just was feeling all of the feels. And I am a very like emotionally driven person, and so when I feel the feelings, I feel them big. But the yoga was perfect, exactly where I needed to be, and it really helped me center and get excited for the rest of the weekend. Not the first item I bought, but I did want to share my sweatshirt that I'm wearing today because I did get this during our trip. So it just has Mickey and Minnie with the little heart hands, and it says Disneyland across it. They did have one of these styles at Walt Disney World. It was more of like a red pink than an actual like pink that this sweatshirt is, and I saw it, wasn't going to grab it, and my friend Molly mentioned to me that it like just released. So I was like, you know what, I better just grab it now, and I am so happy I did. It is adorable, and I just love like the Mickey and Minnie with the Taylor Swift heart hands. That's right. And we do this heart hands here. We don't do the, I don't even know what it is that the kids do nowadays, but we are OG heart hands forever. In this video, I'm going to show you some of my things that I have purchased during my visit to Disneyland, and then I'm also going to like just chit chat about the races with you. So like I said, we did yoga, and I got the yoga pin because for yoga, you don't get anything really besides the mat, a water bottle, and then like a strap for your yoga. So when we got to the expo, I was really excited to see that they had merch for the yoga. So they had the pins and they had a t-shirt, but the t-shirt was like $50, and I was like, no, I'm not buying that. So I stuck with the pin, and I'm happy that I got the pin because like I said, I did really enjoy the yoga. I went into the yoga blind. Like I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea where to go. I did not know what I needed. And so I think I'm gonna do a separate video on experiencing like Run Disney Yoga specifically, just so I can help people. And if you're doing it for the first time, then you know what to expect and you don't have to go in it like totally, I have no idea what's going on, like I was. We figured it out, like always. But I was a little nervous about it. And then I also got the regular half marathon weekend pin. I was not a big fan of like this overall theming of the weekend. Like it's giving like clip art 2002, right? Like with the dropped shadow. Yeah, I just didn't love that design. And so going into the expo, I knew, okay, like we are just getting our pins and our magnets and that is it, which that's pretty much what I got. I did end up getting 2 extra items, but they're very cute and I'm happy with them and I've worn them multiple times already. Like I said, I just didn't love the overall like red and yellow design. Seeing people wear the Spirit jerseys and stuff throughout the weekend, it made me hate it less, but it wasn't one that I was like, that is adorable, I absolutely need that. There was no need there. Like there wasn't even a want. I was like, yeah, I don't like that. And I also like just dropped my left kidney during the Dopey race weekend. I did have gift cards, but still, I was trying to be good at the expos. So these are the replica metal pins. So if you don't know, they make pins, so like the Disney pins, to replicate the exact medal that you get during your race. So this is the 5K, the 10K, so it was Ahsoka Tano. And this was really cool. We'll get into each of the races here in a moment, but Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka Tano, spoke before the race, and that was just so cool. This is the half marathon one, so it's like Camp Mickey, and it spins in the back too, because it's like a compass. And then the challenge for the weekend is the Dumbo Double Dare, and this flips too, so it goes back and forth. This one was really cute. I'd say overall, my favorite races are always the 10K, but especially at Disneyland. So how the Disneyland races work, the 5K, you actually start on Main Street in Disneyland. Super cool for the fact that you get to start a race in front of the castle in Disneyland on Main Street. Like, that's why it's cool. But the overall, like, race, like viewing of the announcers, the start line, even the finish line, because you finish in California Adventure, it's just all kind of crazy and all over the place. Because it's a quick race, like I get it, and they have to be able to take things down really quickly because they're going to be opening the park. But it was just, it's always just a little chaotic for the 5K when you start inside the park. Rather, when you start outside of the park, it's just a little bit more organized and you can actually hear the race announcers and see them for the most part. But for the 5K, you cannot. The 10K course, my all-time favorite 10K course is the 10K in Disneyland, because you literally just run your first mile behind California Adventure, then you hook into California Adventure, run through Cars Land, run more throughout California Adventure, loop across the promenade over to Disneyland, and then you loop somehow back, and then you finish like on the regular finish line. And it is just the best course because you are pretty much in that park the entire time. You are in a park the entire time, I should say. There are like a couple, like probably a mile and a half, you're not in the park, but it is so much fun. Like, I am so used to running in Disney World where we're like in and out of parks really fast, and at Disneyland you really get to be inside of the parks. And that 10K race, the best one ever. So you're going into this race weekend, I had a lot of confidence. I still do. But going from Dopey to Dumbo, I was like, wow, I am a marathoner. I just ran that. I felt really good physically because I didn't run a lot between Dopey and Dumbo. And totally transparent, I go to Princess next week and I've ran one time since we got back from Dumbo. Granted, I've been battling a sinus infection and all the things, but I feel really good. And I think that is because you have to train so hard for Dopey that I was just like exhausted. I was over training, not overtraining, but I was like just over it. Like mentally, I was like, I am just over running all these miles. It's so boring. But I felt so good going into Dumbo. That's hilarious. Good going into Dumbo. And so during the 10K, like I said, it was Ahsoka. And I am not a Star Wars girl. I am learning. I am getting educated. But it is not my thing. But it's my friend's thing. And so I love when people are passionate about something and really enjoy something. And I want to participate in that with them. I want them to feel that joy and I want to help them feel even more joy. And so learning about what they love brings me joy. And my friend Ashton and my friend Molly love Ahsoka Tano. So I was all in. I was all in, but my costume was Cars because I like cars. I tried a Star Wars costume. It just wasn't it. It was not working out. I'll put some photos and if I have any videos from the race in here as well as while I'm chatting with you. But it just, I was really looking forward to this race because I love the 10K and I was ready to challenge myself. That was the biggest thing I wanted to do going into this weekend. So for the 10K, I ran the first mile straight. I've never done that in a Run Disney race. I always do my intervals. So I do 2 minutes running, 1 minute walking. But I ran that first mile and I ran it pretty fast because I wanted to get to Ahsoka Tano if she was out doing a character meet and greet. But I first needed to get to Cars Land because sometimes that line can be long and I was waiting in that line no matter what. And I wanted to take my time throughout Cars Land because again, I was dressed as Lightning McQueen and I didn't want to have to rush through that and then feel like the rest of my race, I was like rushing to keep that 16-minute mile. So sprinted to Cars Land, enjoyed Cars Land, and then was continually running quickly. One, because when you're in the park, it just gives me like more energy and more vibe to just like keep killing it. And then again, my goal was to meet Ahsoka if she was out on the course. My friend Molly and Brittany were ahead of me, and so I was busting butt. And then I get the text, she's not out. She's out, but she's up high. So in Galaxy's Edge, there's like these little car thingies, and then she was standing up there where you could just like take a selfie with her, which I did. And that was fine, but because I ran so fast, then I was able to catch up with Molly and Brittany, which was really fun because we were able to like finish the race together. And I still can't believe this happened, but it literally solidified how great this race was because like I mentioned before a little bit, I was stressed out going into this race. I didn't have a great week, and when I was running through Cars Land, I just felt like this immense amount of joy go over me, and I was like, I am so joyful right now. I am so grateful. I am so happy. And I took a selfie by the Cars Land sign, and it was just so much fun. I just loved it, and it really like just switched my outlook and my vibe for that weekend. But that race was really special to me, and then it became even more special because as we were finishing, so they always do like confetti for the first finisher and the last finisher, which I think is really nice. But for some reason, as we were finishing, I was going ahead of Molly and Brittany because they were going to finish together and do like the little lightsaber thing. And I heard Carissa, the race announcer, say something to the fact of, oh, our race like producer or like somebody who works for Run Disney that is very, very, very high up was finishing the race. And so they gave him confetti, or them confetti, and we were right there. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And I just hear my friend Molly go, run! So then we could get our finish line pictures with confetti. They are the best finish line pictures I've ever had in my whole life. It literally looks like I won. And when we saw those pop up on our app, because the race pictures are included with your race for Disneyland, not for Disney World, just for Disneyland, it was such an insane moment when we were sitting in our hotel room and being like that was our face when we saw those finish line pictures come up. It was spectacular. Because I was really successful during the 10K, going into the half marathon, I really wanted to get a sub 3 half marathon, which just means under 3 hours. Again, during my races for Run Disney, I don't focus on my time. I go, I have a good time, I stop for all the characters, and I do my intervals, and whatever time I finish, that's the time I finish. But because I had all that confidence coming off of Dopey, now I'm like, ooh, I want to be faster. And so I started the race and was like, you know what, if I don't get it under 3, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that when we were in the parks, I really was focusing on having a good time and enjoying the race overall and stopping for characters. However, once you left the park, we never went back in the park. So we left the park after mile 5, and it was straight road the entire way. And this was a new course. They changed the course from the September half marathon and even the January of 2024 half marathon. And oh my gosh, best half marathon course I've ever ran. Not one hill, not one hill. Not one hill, not even like a little baby hill. 0 hills, and like so 0 hills. Weather was amazing, and it was just such a great course for everyone that day to get proof of time, to get a PR, and that's what we did. That's what I did. I was under, I think my official time was 2 hours and 50 minutes, and so I technically cut off about 30 minutes off of my half marathon time. I think that's correct. I pulled it up. My official time, so my official time when I finished was 2 hours and 50 minutes. And that means I cut off about 30 minutes from my Dopey half marathon. I was interested to see like all of my half marathon times. So I went ahead and pulled it up. And so for the Halloween half marathon in Disneyland, it was 3 hours and 8 minutes. Wine and Dine was 3 hours and 33 minutes. Dopey was 3 hours and 22 minutes. And then Dumbo was 2 hours and 50 minutes. And I definitely know why. Like, it's because we are not ending, like, for World, you run, it depends on the race, but for, let's just say Dopey, you run to Magic Kingdom and you run back. And you go through Epcot at the beginning, then you go through Magic Kingdom, and then you go through Epcot again at the end. But mentally knowing that, I think just knowing like once you exit the park and know you're not going to go back in, that is a huge game changer, especially when you're trying to get that time, because we always stop for like an Epcot ball picture at the end of the race. And so there's just like time in there where you're going to eliminate your overall time, obviously. So yeah, anywho's, Disneyland is definitely, at least this course was definitely a great course. The weather was perfect to get a PR, and so I was really, really excited about that. Well, the other items I got at the expo were the magnet. So I always get the race weekend magnet. Normally I would get the pass holder one, but I'm not a pass holder in Disneyland, or a magic key holder I should say. And then I always get the challenge one as well. And then the other random pin I just got was a Disneyland 2025 pin. I always get like the spinner ones, and they didn't have one. I think that one was just like generic for the park, so I just got one that said 2025. If you Run Disney race, you do get a t-shirt for participating, and bless, I'm doing perfect season, which just means that I'm running every race every weekend this year, and that isn't something that is like officially sanctioned by Disney. It's just something that people have said and made up, and we just are running with it now. But I think Disney officially got gray shirts and just said buy one get one, and all the race weekends are going to have a gray shirt, and Disneyland's going to have 2. I was shocked. I just like, there are so many colors in the rainbow. Why do we have to have the same color shirts every single weekend? I don't know. So another gray shirt. Disneyland 5K was Groot, so that was the 5K. The 10K was Ahsoka Tana in a red, and we did actually get to meet her in the parks, because unlike Disney World, Disneyland gets characters that they like roam around a lot, and so she came out and we were able to meet her. And then we had the half marathon in a gray, of course. Like, what the heck? I don't even know if I wore this one, because on Sunday we wore like our coast to coast, because that was something we also got during this race weekend, and that just means you ran 10 miles or more in each of the coast, so Disneyland and Disney World. My dream, you guys, is for them to bring back the Disneyland Paris race weekends, because then it's like castle to chateau or chateau to castle, and like, when they do that, I'm signing me up. We're going to Paris, we're running, and it's happening, and oh, so exciting. But I did really like this shirt. So this was the Dumbo Challenge, Dumbo Double Dare, there we go, challenge. So this one was cute, and it was like a navy, but I'm like, can we not think of other t-shirt colors to wear? I guess we can't, but that's all right. I am hopeful that for Princess Weekend, which when you see this video, it'll be Princess Weekend week, that we don't get a gray shirt, because it's Princess Weekend. Like, come on. If they give us a gray shirt for Princess Weekend, I'm sending an email. It's happening. So the other 2 items I got during the expo was the Dumbo like generic tee. So they always have like a generic t-shirt for each of the races. I've gotten the dopey ones in the past, and then I also got the half marathon one because it said in my running era, like Avi had to get that. And so I really liked this one. It says look at me fly, and I think it's really cute too, now that I PR'd during my first Dumbo and I was flying. And so I don't fly, I soar, or what is that? Is that what Dumbo says? But I really liked that one. But then my favorite item I got for the race weekend was this little like windbreaker kind of. So it had the Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend logo on the front. And how cute is that? How cute is that black and white? Way better than the red and orange and blue situation. But then it also has Disneyland Resort on the back. It has like a drawstring on the bottom with a pocket up here and then 2 pockets on the side. I really like this jacket. I wore it many times throughout the weekend. I'm planning on taking it as like a rain jacket with me as well, and so I was really excited for that purchase. While I went into it knowing just magnet and pins, I knew I would wear that. And I do like to get things like with the race weekend on it, but nothing else was like really speaking to me. So outside of the races, I did purchase a couple of things just within the park. So I went ahead and got this Disneyland, it's washed so I had to shake it out a little bit, Disneyland Resort Sorcerer Mickey tee. And then because you can't just buy one t-shirt because you have to get the discount, I also really loved this statue, the partner statue t-shirt with Walt and Mickey, and then it says Disneyland Resort. I just love the details on this one. So I really liked those t-shirts, and like Sorcerer Mickey, I've always been a fan of Sorcerer Mickey, but he is having a moment right now and he's getting so much merch, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it for him. So something that I always do is I love to get ornaments to celebrate and commemorate our trip. So back in the day, before like my Disney World really like expanded to what it is now, I would get ornaments for every trip. Now I just get them if we're going to actually celebrate a certain thing and not for every single trip, because I can't have that many Christmas trees in my house. If you watched my Dopey merch haul video, you would have seen that I got a Dopey ornament that said Dopey Challenge on it, right? And that's the thing about Disney World. While they are still Disney, they are very different. Like, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but just how they like manage certain things, it is so strange how different it is sometimes. And so I went in and I got my ornament and I said, okay, can I get Dumbo Double Dare on this ornament? She literally said no. They weren't allowed to put the Dumbo Double Dare on an ornament. I was like, what? Like, why? And then she had to call. So then that took like 15 minutes to see if they could even put Run Disney on the ornament. And so this was the ornament, the Disneyland ornament, and then I just had them put Run Disney 2025. And yes, I know the Run Disney, the run is, the R is capitalized. Shouldn't be, but at that point I was just like, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It is very cute. I really do like it. Glad I got a Disneyland ornament, but just like the thought of everything that had like, why is it a big deal that it literally says Dumbo Double Dare? I almost just like, nope, I'll just do it myself, but I won't because it won't be as cute. And so we just got Run Disney with a capitalized R. It's fine. It's fine. And then finally, the last item that I got is, this is like such a funny story, and I have to preface like why this is such a funny item that I purchased. So we were walking to the expo and there is like a Disney storybook store. That is not the name of it. I cannot remember the exact name of it. But every time we walked by it, the line was so long. And we finally, my friend Marley and I finally asked somebody, we're like, what are you guys waiting for? Because we feel like we're missing out on something that we don't even know what we're missing out on. And it was the Cherry Blossom line. And this is very strong like Japan, Tokyo influence, and they have like the best merch over there. And so they had these items that were cherry blossoms, and I was like, what? I don't need that. Like, what? So my friend Cassie bought the keychain and I saw them and I was like, oh, I need to go to that store. Unfortunately, by the time we got over there, it was sold out. However, little Stitchy is in the cherry blossom theming. How freaking cute is he? Like, at first I thought it was Angel, but then I learned no, this is actually Stitch. I'm not a huge fan of Stitch. Stitch is very like hit and miss for people, but I couldn't pass him up. I did end up getting the keychains at Walt Disney World. One of my friends picked them up for me, but I just love the cute little cherry blossoms. They are adorable. And so if you do see the cherry blossom line, don't pass it up like I did originally. Make sure you check it out because it is so stinking cute. Alright, you guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for chit-chatting with me about the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend and showing you all of my fun merch that I got, because how stinking cute is he? I just love it so much. I'm really excited and looking forward to Princess Weekend, which is now this weekend by the time you see this video. But if you guys have any questions about Run Disney or any of the items in my video today, please let me know in the comments down below. Let's leave a little cute pink heart in honor of my Cherry Blossom Stitchy down below if you made it to the end of the video. And I hope you guys have a magical rest of your day, and I will see you real soon. Bye!